Cool. All right. So, hi guys. My name is Shweta Chadha, and I'm a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness. And I'm grateful to Mr. Vijay for inviting me here again to talk about. Do you guys know what the topic is today, by the way? I wonder. It is, what do you truly desire in life? So, what do you truly desire in life? And Vijay ji texted me some topics. He said, what would you like to talk about? And this was one topic that someone else had also requested to talk about. What do you truly desire in life? Because this is one thing that no one ever asks us when we're growing up. What do you truly desire in your life? And let's just rephrase that and say, how would you like to create your life? Or what would you like your life to look like and be like? Because when I ask you that question, you start to wonder whether you are the one who's actually creating your life, or has it been handed to you in a platter? Here is your life. These are the things that you got to do. This is the person you have to marry. This is the job that you have to do. This is the way you have to talk. This is the way you have to dress up. And if you don't do these things, then there's something wrong with you. How many of you relate to that? How many of you have experienced that? So, is everyone here from Access Consciousness? Can we run the clearing statement, or do we not talk about the clearing statement? What are we doing?
I think most are from Access.
Is it? Hello, Sharadji. How are you?
Hi, Shweta. Hi, good to see you after a
I
long time.
know. Good to see you too. Good to see you too. Good to see everyone, though everybody's
Just-
cameras are off. I'd like to see faces than names, but well, that's a choice. And
I was looking forward to your today's talk very much.
awesome. I'm so grateful. So what else would you like to change? Just keep your questions handy. I
Hi,
think usually.
Shweta.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
All well. Great. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Always,
Hello,
always.
Sharad. How are you?
Hi, Renu. How are you? Good to see you
All
again.
well. Good to see you.
Hi.
I don't think I can do the format of half an hour talk and then 15-minute question answer. It's just going to kill me. It's going to be like, hey, this is not the time to chat. Okay, but we like to chat. So coming back to the conversation of, do you guys know that you create your life and you generate your life? And it's not like, how many of you, let's look at another question, because I love to play with questions. So how many of you are happy with everything in your life? And how many of you would like to change a lot of things or practically everything in your life? Like, because I'm the sort of person who's always demanding more change, more change, more change. And I also look at the moment I have, every time I've demanded more change, there's been like a resistance, there's been like a wall. And it's been like, why do you want so much change? What's wrong with you? Why would you? Like, we're fine the way we are, right? It's all going fine. Why do you want more? Why do you want more money? Why do you want more travel? Why do you want to travel better? Why do you want these luxury destinations? Why? And by the way, why is not a question. It's not a question, it's a limitation, it's a judgment. So anytime a why has been projected at you, know that it is a limitation, know that it was meant to stop you. And question is, will you stop, or will you continue to ask for more? And that is why we're having this conversation of, what do you truly desire to create and generate as your life? So let's look at, what are the things that are there in your life that you would like to change? Is it your money situation? Is it your relationships? Is it your body? Is it the place that you live in? Is it the kind of work that you do? Is it the kind of people you work with? Do you want to change your boss? Do you want to change your children? Like, there are certain things we can't change. Like, we can't change your children for you. I'm sorry. That part we can't do. Oh, well, we can get to that. I don't know if we can get to that in half an hour, because that's too short a time to change your children or your spouse. But at least we can start asking. So I would like to invite you to the possibility of the power of a question and the power of an ask, right? So when we begin to ask questions, when we actually start to wonder, hey, can I have this as greater? This thing is not working in my life. I would like to have more money. I'd like to have a better and greater relationship with whoever. I'd like to have a better space to live in. I'd like to have the kind of work that I enjoy doing rather than have a 9 to 5 job where I'm struggling for the money, where my boss is a pain in the ass. You see, so what are the so and the important thing to get to that is to start to see what parts of your life are working and what parts of your life are not working. Okay, so what would it take for you to start to look at, and you guys can, like, we will take up questions at 8:30, but if you do have a question, please type it up in the chat because that will help me talk more about what you're asking for, because I can go on talking, I can give you a lot of tools, I can give you, but where do you want to go? What would you like to receive? Right? So do type your questions here. So that'll kind of help us direct the and help me give you the tools that you're asking for. And access consciousness is a modality that I've been practicing for almost more, I mean, I think a little over 6 years now. Started in 2013, August, I think, as much as I remember. Because, yeah, somewhere around that time. So it's been like a little over 6.5 years, and a lot in my life has changed by using the tools of access. So today I'm going to invite you to the possibility of this us of using the tools, one of which is asking the questions. The main tool is asking a question. And to begin to ask a question, what if you started to identify, like I said, the areas of your life that are working for you? Am I not audible? Can you guys hear me? You
Yes,
want me to speak
very clear.
louder, like this?
No, yeah, you're nice and clear.
Okay, so Seema, maybe you could raise the volume of your phone or computer, so you can hear me better. Or probably, I I wonder if do you guys require me to wear headphones, because that's going to take away 5 minutes from the call, I think. So if you're good, I
It's going
just
great.
continue the way it is.
Going
Okay.
great. No problem.
Okay, cool. So let's start to look at and identify the areas of your life that are working and the areas of your life that are not working. And that maybe when you listen to the recording of this call, you could do it as an exercise, have a pen and paper handy, and just start writing down, broadly dividing the areas of your life the way I just put them. And if you want to add other topics, maybe go for those, like your body, your work, the kind of people you work with, the kind of place that you stay in, your money situation. Yeah, that's a big one, right? My money situation. And whatever else, your relationships, right? So just start to jot down those things and start to look at what parts of these are working for me, what parts of these are not working for me. Then it basically becomes easier for you to identify what you can ask for, and then begin to ask your question of, hey, if I was truly creating this as my life, if I was creating my body as my life, for example, my body, what would I create it as? If there were no projections and expectations of what my body should look like, how much it should weigh, what color it should be, how my hair should be, what would I like to create as my body? Because everything, guys, in your life, you are creating. There is nothing in your life that has happened to you. How many of you have the point of view that things are happening to you? Nothing happens to you. You created the way it is. And there's good news and there's bad news in that, because you might say, hey, why would I create a debt in my life? Why would I create struggle with something in my life? Why? Again, remember, why is not a question. It's something to take you in your head round and round and round, and you'll keep like, why would I? The question, well, it's not a question. It'll just take you in a loop and you'll go, why did I, and just end up confusing yourself. So what if you said, hey, cool, if I created this, if I'm the creator of my life, well, then guess who can change it? I can. And how do I change it? The beginning of that is to start to ask questions. So let's say if you're looking at your body or you're looking at your money situation, you begin to ask, wow, you first begin to acknowledge that you created it. And then you go, okay, now what would it take for this to change? Simple question. What would it take for this to change? So look at any area of your life that is not working for you right now and just go, what would it take for this to change? And I'd like you to play with this question with all of those things that you list down as the things that are not working for you. Okay? Is it clear till here? And I'm going to give you something even a little more surprising than that. Okay? So now you're going to look at all the areas of your life that you think are working. I have a great relationship with my spouse. I have a great house. I have this amazing money in my bank, this amount. And you look at all the areas that you think are fantastic in your life, are like really great. And then you look at them and say, okay, now what would it take for these to become even greater than they are? Okay. Does that make sense? Because the ones that are not working for you, you're willing to change, but the things that are working for you, you've decided these are great in my life. You don't even look at, you don't even want to change. And probably those are also the areas where you're stopping, you're receiving. Does that make sense? Hey, Sanchita. Hi. So Bhuvana says, I desire a lucrative career and money situation. Yeah, so cool. Look at your career and look at your money situation and ask, if I was truly creating my life, would I have created this money situation or would I have created this different? What would you like? And that is the beginning of beginning to identify, what would I like to have? Because there are so many judgments projected on us. If you're a girl, you can't do this. If you're a guy who's this old, you can't do this. If you're a guy, you can't do girly things. If you're a girl, you can't do manly things. This is as much as my family's created, so I can't go beyond that. If I go beyond that, people might not like me. So there are all of these are just a few examples. There are these absurd ideas that we have in our head about how much, what, where we can create. And when we begin to start to look at the areas of our life, excuse me, that are not working, and we ask, hey, what would it take for these to show up greater? And another question I would like you to ask is, hey, whose reality did I buy that I created this? Whose reality am I living? So can you look at your life right now and ask, whose reality are you living? Who decided for you that this is what your life has to look like? And everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all? And we run the access consciousness clearing statement on it. Assuming you guys know it, if someone doesn't know it, ask me and I'll quickly tell you what it is. But you can also go to theclearingstatement.com. Basically, just clears the energy of anything that's limiting you. So everywhere that you are living someone else's reality, someone else's idea of what your life should be like, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Nobody's even saying yes. There's only one yes. Only one person wants to destroy and uncreate it. We're getting all serious about it. Seriousness doesn't change much. So everything that is and everywhere you guys are also serious about it, that you're not even willing to say yes, that you're not willing to laugh, that you're not willing to turn it light. Will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Bad, good, bad, pot, pog, online shows, boys and beyonds. Thank you, Sanchita. And thank you. I think who said yes before that, Poonam? Somebody? Thank you. Awesome. So what would it take for you to truly get to know what you would like your life living and reality to be like? How many of you are really clear on what you would like your life to be like? I think we can do questions. I really can't go on talking another 15 minutes without anyone talking back at me. I'm like, that's not me. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, cool. So, what are you guys getting out of this? Does anyone have a question? Where do you want to go with this? What do you want to create as your life? What do you want to change? What is fun for you? What is not fun for you? Have you identified all of those areas? Are you even looking at them? Are you asking for greater? Or are you just satisfied, content with living the life that your parents gifted you, or your in-laws told you, or your friends told you, or society tells you, or your religion, or your culture, or the country that you live in tells you to live as? Are you happy with that? Are you satisfied with that? Then why are we doing this call? Okay, I still...
Right.
Sanjita, go for it. Save me.
I think none of us are satisfied with our life. We all are trying to be better, make things better.
Yeah. Yes, Dhara. Dhara, is that how you pronounce your name, Dhara?
Yeah,
Beautiful name.
thank
Awesome.
you.
So what does Dhara mean? Do you know?
The flow.
Yeah. So does it ever stop the flow?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, but then when you try to be satisfied, when you try to live contented, so here you are saying that none of us are satisfied and none of us are contented, yet you continue to choose to be satisfied. I should be satisfied. I should be content with what I have. I should be. I should be. How many shoulds do you have in your life that do not allow you to ask for greater?
No,
Woohoo!
at least I am doing my bit to change everything.
Okay, why are you doing a teeny bit? Why aren't you just being the dhara that you truly are? Like, does a dhara do the teeny bit of trickling or does it just flow?
Right.
Absolutely.
What would it take for you to be the dhara of your life, which doesn't know how to stop? However much anyone likes you to stop, but I'm not going to stop. I'm having so much fun. I won't stop. I'm just going to go and try and stop me. I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go and I'm going to keep going. Why would you want to be satisfied? How many of you have decided that satisfied is the right thing to be? And if you're not satisfied, then you're bad, you're evil, you're mean, you're vicious, you're not grateful. And that's a lie.
Yeah, that's a lie, but that's the major thing which is coming up every time.
Yeah, because who gave that to you? Who gave?
Nobody, we only get into it.
But how? How did you get into it? Somebody must have told you, no, this is the right thing to do. And so you're trying to do the right thing by being satisfied, by being contented. So are you an infinite being? When you're being the dhara that you truly be, are you an infinite being?
No,
Doesn't it?
that time we are not, but yes, we are an infinite.
Okay, so how do you change it is what I'm giving you. But you can continue to say, yeah, but it's okay. I'm okay with that. And nobody gave it to me. I'm only choosing it. Yeah, cool. I know all of that. But now are you willing to change it?
Yes.
Okay, so now ask me a question of how do I change it, Shweta? Tell me. Not yes, but you know, that's the right thing. How many times do we get into the this is justifying the reality you're choosing. I'm choosing this. Know that you're choosing it. Every time you say you said one true thing there is like, yes, nobody gave it to me. I chose it. I keep picking it up over and over again. Every time I try to create greater, I go into, oh my God, I shouldn't ask for more because that makes me greedy. Greedy is bad. So how many of you are willing to be greedy? And greedy is not bad. If it's creating greater for everyone, if it's creating greater for consciousness, is greedy bad? If you're asking for greater for everyone, if you're asking for consciousness to show up everywhere, you can keep asking for more and more and more. And that will include more money for you, more extravagance for you, more luxury for you. But you wouldn't have it for what reason? Why is it bad? Why is it bad? I just asked you a trick question.
I have a question. Like, greed is not bad, but how much of it can I really accommodate? Like, I have 24 hours in a day.
Accommodate. What does that mean? Where do you want to accommodate it?
See, I'll have to do something to get something, right? So
that's an interesting point of view. You have to do something to get to something. That's this reality's point of view. Okay, but go on, tell me, give me your justification.
So it's like the best choice you're left with is do what you should do and be content with what you have.
And that's also an interesting point of view. But are you content? Okay, you should be doing that. That's a should, right? Notice how many shoulds you guys have in your world. Okay, just start observing. I should, right? You should be content. And who told you that?
Everybody, the teachers, parents.
Why? Okay, if you're not content, then you are dash. Fill in the blank. If
right
you're not, sorry, you're not the?
You're not good.
You're not good, and you want to be good, right? And when you want to be good, then guess who controls you? Because good has a lot of definitions. Everyone has a different definition of what good is, what content is. For somebody, 100 million might not be enough. For somebody, 50 lakhs might not be enough. Like you can be content at you can be content at 100 million. You can be content at 50 lakhs. You can be content at 5,000. Now, where are you willing to be content? So, okay, so everybody has a different definition of contentment, when they should be contented, how they should be contented, what is it when you're not contented. And when you have definitions, notice people can control you. They can tell you you're not content. That means because you've decided not being content is bad. And so you will try not to be bad. And you'll try to do everything that's good, but you'll never be good in their eyes because you'll never be content. You'll always demand more. You'll always want more. So, okay, we're talking money here. But what if you're being kind to someone? How kind would you have to be content with being enough kind? That's good. That's the good, right? That being kind is good. So you can go to any limits. But if you've decided you have to be content, then that applies everywhere, not only to money. then you can't be more kind than you are, then you can't be more caring than you are, then you can't be even more good looking than you are, because you have to be content with what you are. Does that make sense? And that is how we start to limit our receiving with definitions. If you have a definition, see, money is energy, being kind is energy, being caring is energy. But the moment someone tells you, and that someone could be anyone, like I said, it could be family, it could be parents, it could be society, it could be culture, it could be anything. But who's choosing it? Like Dhara was saying, I'm the one who's choosing it every time when I'm buying into the point of view that I should be content. The moment you put I should be dash, you've just limited your receiving. You've limited who you can be. You cannot be infinite being. You cannot be that expansive that can have it all. And then we keep saying, oh, my money reality is not changing. My life is not changing. Does that
Wow, Shweta, thank you so much.
does that make sense? So all the decisions and judgments, you're so welcome, that you have about who you can be, where you can be, how much you can be, how not content or content you should be, and all the judgments, decisions, judgments, computations, conclusions attached to that, will you destroy and uncreate it all? And allow yourself to
Yes.
be everything that you can be,
Yes.
whatever anyone else judges it as, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pok, online, truth,
Yes.
Boys and
right,
beyond.
and beyond.
Yes.
Because when someone's judging you and they're telling you you're not this, and you're buying into that, you're believing them, you've just made that judgment real and you've just limited your receiving. But if you went, interesting point of view, they have this point of view, you actually become that Dhara again. Thank you, Dhara, for asking that question and opening up this conversation of the Dhara. Because then you become that flow again, where a point of view can come at you, but because you're not resisting it, you're not buying into I should be this or I should be that. So notice every time you go, I should, and pock and pot it and say, hey, could I be anything different here? Could I choose something different? Could I be something greater? Am I willing to be judged here? Am I willing to be called greedy? Greedy is just a judgment. Does that make sense, guys? So everywhere that you're buying into other people's judgments of you as real and true, which they're not, they're just using that to control you, will you destroy and uncreate all?
Yes.
Right
Yes.
on that what online shows, boys and girls, and all the judgments you have of you, which makes you choose smaller, limited, not enough, not greedy, destroy and create all.
Yes.
I don't get
Yes.
back. Online shows, boys and beyonds. And here I want to make one point very clear, that when we say greedy, okay, if you're functioning from the kingdom of me, the self-interest thing where, hey, only I should get, only I should get, only I should get, then you're being greedy, okay? Then consciousness is not going to work for you. You have to be clear that when you're choosing something, it is inclusive of consciousness, it is inclusive, and it comes from a space of kingdom of you. If you're doing competition, if you're doing jealousy, if you're doing any of those energies where you're constantly going only I, it won't work. That is truly greedy. But if you're asking for greater in your life, like even if you're just asking for more money, it doesn't make you greedy. Money is also just energy, it's only our judgments of it. If you're asking to be more beautiful, and not, I don't mean in terms of looks, or just asking for more of the beautiful energy to show up. You are beautiful just the way you are, right? So if you start to ask for more of the beautiful, and it's a tool, if you start to ask more for more of the beautiful energy that is you to start to show up, then everything in your life expands. So you got to be very clear.
Wow.
When you're functioning from the kingdom of me, then you're truly being greedy, then it won't work. But the lie that people project on you, that hey, if you demand more, for if you demand to have a greater life where there's probably a better living space, more money, more travel, or anything that people don't want you to do in your life, and they tell you you're being greedy, it'll feel heavy, you'll know. And that is the space where I want you to start identifying that this is not mine, and start to ask for a greater life. And that is why I'm asking you, what do you truly desire as your life? If there was no limitation, if there was no lack, if there was no judgment of what's right and what's wrong, what would you ask your monetary reality to be? What would you ask your body to be? What would you ask your life and your living space to be? What kind of work would you like to do? And get the energy of that. And please start asking, because the trouble is, because we go into these judgments of right and wrong, greedy, not greedy, selfish, not selfish, we don't even ask. And if you don't ask, can you receive? Everywhere that you're not asking, which means you can't receive. Universe is going to give you what you ask for. If you don't ask for it, you can't get. Okay? So start to ask. make an ask list. And this is one of my favorite tools that I give out to. I try to give it out to as many people. Now, whether you're making it in your head, I would prefer that you make it on a piece of paper and just write it down and forget about it. Write it down somewhere and then just put it away. Even 2 months later, 6 months later, a year later, when you open that book and you say, these are the asks that I made, see which ones truly showed up. If you're willing to be the dhara, the flow, the continuity, the movement, because energy never stops. And if you're telling yourself that you can stop at a certain limit, well, you're defining yourself. You're making yourself limited. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
All right. So we're officially on question time now. Now you can ask your questions.
Hi, Shweta.
Hi. Who's this?
This is Rashmi.
Hi, Rashmi.
So my question is, as you said, is I created everything about any situation, money, body, anything, right? So just before one line you said this, I asked for everything. So in the current time, I am facing a problem. I just in last month I was sudden hair fall, and it's sudden. I mean, this is the first time in my life when I'm facing it.
What are you saying? I can't hear you very clearly, Rashmi.
Okay, so I'm facing hair fall.
Hair fall.
Yes, it's sudden hair fall, and it is like everywhere is I can see my hairs. You can understand. So, and this is the first time, and हमेशा ऐसा रहा है कि I have good hair. I mean, everyone is amazing.
Can't hear you now. What do you say?
So I'm, what's my problem?
Nope. I just heard till the part where you say you were seeing hair
There is
everywhere.
disturbance in her voice only. Nobody's able to hear.
Hair everywhere. That's all that I heard.
Okay. So I am saying that, 1 second, I should be my. You can hear me?
And now I can.
Okay. So I was saying that I am facing, this is the first time in my life I have facing this much of hair fall. So I did not ask for this. Why this is happening?
Yeah, you
So,
think you asked for it. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yes.
When something like that happens in our life, we think, why would I ask for something like that? But somewhere, sometime you decided that having that much hair that you can't handle is something you don't want to have. Now, whether it was this lifetime, whether it was another lifetime, you don't know that, right? Now, what if you acknowledge, hey, cool, I created this. Now, how can I change it?
Right. And I know this is not, this is not belongs to me, basically. I know this is not, this is someone else. So I did this also, just go back to the center and everything. Right. But the question is, I don't know, समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि ऐसे हुआ क्यों?
पर जब आप पूछ रहे हो रिटर्न टू सेंडर कर रहे हो तो आप ऑलरेडी डाउट की एनर्जी से पूछ रहे हो या आप ट्रूली एक्सपेंसिव एनर्जी से पूछ रहे हो, क्यूरियोसिटी की एनर्जी से पूछ रहे हो, आप ऑलरेडी उसके गलत फन में चले गए हो ना, you've gone into the wrongness of it, that this is not right, it's not mine. So the energy already is that of resistance, which means when you're resisting something, you've already accepted it is true.
Okay.
Which means you've decided this is mine, but I'm just doing the tool. So that's the difference between doing the tool and being the tool.
Okay.
When you can truly be interesting point of view, when you don't make hair fall wrong, and you ask, okay, cool, everywhere that I created this lifetime or any other lifetime, destroy and uncreate it all. And you can use this with anything in your life. Like I said, anything that's not working, everywhere I created this, everywhere I chose this, destroy and uncreate it all. Okay?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shows, boys and beyonds. Revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy and uncreate all. If you can do that. Or just destroy and create all, right, wrong, good, bad, pot, nine shows, boys and beyonds. And then you ask your body, do you know you can talk to your body?
Yes.
Everything in your life and in your reality, we call it embodiment. Like whatever you've created around in your reality is embodiment. That's how you've created this reality around you. You can talk to things. They whisper to you. So if you started to ask your body, hey body, what can I be and do that would allow this to change? What would you like to look like? How can I contribute to you? Because we don't realize how we're abusing our body. We don't realize what all we've been eating or ingesting, even like the air that we are breathing, that is contributing to the toxins in our body that's creating all the changes. We don't even know if it's ours because 99% of the stuff is not even ours.
Right.
So, and the tricky thing is to get out of the wrongness of it because suddenly we get scared of, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my hair. I'm going to go bald.
Yes. this is
Right?
happening. Yes.
That is that feeling you got to pock and pod first. Because
Okay.
when you're doing that, you've already bought it as real and true for you. So unless you take the interesting point of view with that feeling, pock and pod all the feelings here. Right,
Okay.
wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys and men. And then start to communicate with your body. Hey, body, what can I feed you? Where can I take you? What kind of movement would you like? How can we change this?
Okay.
Okay. And if you
Okay.
like head full of, like, maybe you can also run. What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can my body and I be to have way more hair on my scalp than I can handle with total ease? A
Right.
scalp full of hair, way more than I can handle with total ease.
Okay.
Run that on a loop. The tricky bit is to get out of the wrongness of it. Okay, so if you can do that, then your body can change. And when have you decided that having that much hair? Because at that age I had that much hair. This age your body might want less hair. How do you know?
Hmm.
You don't know that,
Right.
right? And also, are you taking it away from someone? Now, when you can be interesting point of view, when you begin to ask questions, then maybe you realize that you have a capacity. Are you taking it away from someone? Are you healing someone with losing hair? Are you losing hair for someone, Truth?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know who that person is?
No.
Okay. So do you have a capacity to heal people and their scalps or their bodies? Because there was this
Right.
example of what Gary, I mean, I don't want to scare you, but there was this little story of Gary shared that he was taking chemo stuff away from his brother-in-law, someone that he knew, a very good friend, somebody. And he said that guy would get chemotherapy done after cancer and I would puke for him. And when your body has a capacity like that, you can't really stop it. You can negotiate. You can say, okay, body, let's just do it for people. If you're healing people, then let's just do it for people who are willing to receive. Let's not just start doing it for any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Because
Yes.
your body, if it has a capacity, it likes to do it, it's going to do it for anyone. Anyone
Yes,
who's
yes,
like,
yes. I got the answer because one of my friend, he is like best friend kind of, and he is getting chemotherapy.
hmm,
Yes, now I
are
got
you
it.
losing hair for him?
Yes.
Are you taking out the effects of chemo from his body?
Okay.
Okay, so can you stop?
Yes.
All right, so ask your body, hey body, let's not do it for people who are not asking for it.
Okay.
Okay, and then
Yes.
well, maybe you can grow it again once the chemo. See, once you come to the awareness of what it is, then it can automatically change if you
Right.
choose it. Does that make
Right, right. It's amazing. Thank you. Thank you so
sense?
much.
You're so welcome. Cool. So what else, guys? What else? What else would you like your life living reality to be like? Yes, Sharad, you have a question. I can't hear you, and I don't think I can unmute you. Only Vijay can do
Was
that.
looking, sorry. Yes. Okay.
Okay. You guys can
Uh,
unmute, but I can't unmute you. That's not fair. Okay.
you
Life's not
can do
fair.
anything. Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. So when we are, many years back when we were young and we had parents, we used to think, that our parents are not doing this and that, and they should have done this better and all that. So at that time, we thought, when we become responsible and grown-up parents,
Yep.
we do things differently for our kids.
Mm-hmm.
But now we find that we are in the same situation where our kids tell us,
Yeah.
अरे आपने ये नहीं किया, आपने अच्छा घर बनाया लेकिन ये नहीं किया, हमने पैसा दिया लेकिन ये नहीं किया. I mean, we are in the same, the variables may be different,
Hmm.
but still we are in the same blame game, कि आपने ये नहीं किया.
Yeah.
कैस ये होते ही रहता है मेरे ख्याल से हर एक जनरेशन. I don't know that, I don't want to go on that judgment. Yeah.
You already are in that judgment, no? कि ये होते रहता है.
हाँ, so
I
है
don't want
वो
to go. Yeah, like you're already there.
निकालना पड़ेगा वो judgment. ठीक है, तो
So what is your question?
so question is, how do we change that?
So how many of you have become your parents and trying not to be like your parents? Or let's say, in trying not to be like your parents, how many have become your mother or your father? Oh my God! Everything that is will you destroy and uncreate.
Yes.
I can do that. Yes, yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, online shorts, boys and beyond. See, when either you try to be like your parent or you resist being like one of your parents. Now, even when you're resisting something, we understand where we are aligning and agreeing. We're saying, oh my God, I want to be like my dad or my mom. And that part we understand, right? So we become like them. But so many times we don't want to be like one of our parents. I
Right.
don't want to be like my mother. I'm never going to be like my father.
Yes.
Guess what? You become exactly that. Because in resisting to it, you have to try to understand what they were. And then trying to figure out what they were so you don't have to be that. You automatically become that. So everywhere that you're trying not to be like either of your parents, everywhere you don't want to be your mom or you don't want to be your dad, are the places where you become them. So start to identify the areas where you started, oh my God, like so many times you say, oh my God, I've just become my dad. I mean, even if you've seen Friends, have you seen Friends, the program Friends? And you know, there's this episode where Rachel goes, oh my God, I've become my dad. You know, it's like suddenly you're doing something and you realize, damn it, I'm doing it exactly like one of my parents, you know, and I never wanted to be like that.
Yes.
So you have to start to identify, again, interesting point of view, have this point of view that I don't want to go into that judgment. Interesting point of view, have this point of view that I don't want to be like my mom or my dad. And when you start to observe, when you start to look at the areas, the exercise that I gave you, start to look at the areas that are working for you, start to look at the areas that are not working for you. When you start to, because this is a whole, like, it'll take like, I mean, probably more than an hour and a half to clear away points about mom and dad, probably 3-4 calls. But yeah, you can start to look at where you become your mom or where you become your dad and poke and pot that. And even where you're trying to appease your children, the children don't have to be happy with you. Where have you decided that your children need to be happy with you? Like, you'll give up your life for them because your parents didn't give up their life for you. So you're going to give up your life for your children. All that shit, will you destroy and create all? That gives them power over you guys.
Yes.
Right on Good Bad Podpak online shows, boys and news everywhere. You're not willing to be as mean to your children and more mean to them than they are to you. Will you destroy and create all?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right on Good Bad Podpak online shows, boys and beyonds, because that's where you're not willing to be mean to them. We're not willing to be more mean to them than they are to you. Is where they get power over you. You don't let anyone have power over you. Does that make sense? Unless you like to.
Sure. Sure. Yes.
Shweta, how do we, when do we work with, like, you know, you're resisting your parent or you're aligning and, you know, being like them, and when you're doing a biomimetic mimicry of them? So when do you run what?
You ask a question, what's going to work here? So if biomimetic mimicry, which is a body process that Access Consciousness teaches, for those of you who don't know that, that's also taught in the foundation, or you can learn it in a body process class, or can learn it separately. Biomimetic mimicry basically means you're mimicking patterns and pathways, sometimes even genes of your parents, where somebody says, "तुम तो अपने मम्मी के जैसे दिखते हो." Oh, वो तुम तो बिल्कुल अपने पापा की पे गए हो बच्चे. You know, that is biomimetic mimicry. And it's like when you buy into that, then you're basically mimicking, and sometimes you mimic diseases, you mimic patterns from your parents, which probably you didn't want to take on. So biomimetic mimicry undoes all of those patterns, all those pathways, all those diseases or insanity. Sometimes our parents are insane and they don't know it, and we don't want to acknowledge it. But well, we are insane in certain places with regards to our children. Our parents have been insane, and it doesn't mean we love them any less. It just means they weren't as bright as probably they could have been, right? And that's okay. You can be an allowance of that, and then ask, okay, is biomimetic mimicry going to work here, or can I just park and part this? So it's always about what are you aware of is going to change it. Take on that pattern whenever. Probably not cognitively, but you did. So if you knew that you wanted to take on that pattern, then you know how to undo it too. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Ask the question.
Yes. Yes.
Cool. I think maybe we can do one more question, Vijay. I can't see you, Vijay. Where did you go? Okay. Anyone have any other question?
श्वेता हाय मंजू है
Manju, go for it.
yes श्वेता मेरी आस्क आज एक ही है कि I got late for the meeting because I got an important call. So
We always have Wednesday night free business calls. You guys can jump on that. We have that this Wednesday.
can I get the recording please today?
Vijay is going to send me the recording and I can share it with you, or you can ask him directly.
Okay.
I have
Okay,
no clue
thank
how
you.
he's going to share the recording. And he's not coming on camera, so I don't know what to do about it.
But
Hello.
Okay, so what's your question, Manju? That's your only
Question
out?
was this कि वो तो question आज मैंने सुना नहीं पूरा इसलिए मैं भी question नहीं पूछ रही हूँ.
Okay.
Because और उसके और भी calls होने वाली है ना? More calls are coming
किसकी?
of the series.
Of what? Sorry?
This is only one call series or you are
This
more
is
calls are
this
coming?
is one call that Vijay
One.
invited me to do.
Okay.
And
Okay.
this is if he calls me again, I'll be here. If he doesn't, then I'll be on my business veggie call or something
Okay.
else. Like you'll see me somewhere or the other. You can just ask a
So
question.
I have one question. Some desires come just like this,
Yeah.
and some desires take their own sweet time. So what is the difference in my asking there?
Limitations and no limitations. Some asks where you don't have limitations, they can just drop into your lap and in your awareness. You'll be aware of them. But if you have a barrier there, if you have decided this is the shoulds, remember, I should not. Those ones you have put a barrier to, you're wearing like a black chashma too. So you won't see them or hear them if you're wearing earplugs. And if you start to destroy and uncreate all the judgments you have about how great a life you can have, I think if you guys run what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can I be to be as greedy as I truly be, or as greedy as a goblin I truly be. You know, goblins are very
Wow. Wow.
Run that non-stop, and you'll start to hear more asks. Then you'll want to be greedy. So, what energy, space, conscious choice can I be to be as greedy as a goblin, and great over totally is? But goblins are mean, so well, you can be mean too. That's okay. I don't care.
Great.
Okay.
Awesome.
Awesome. So, any other question? We're at 8:43. I think we just have 2 minutes to go. We're just very particular about the time. So,
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vijay. Thank you so much, Shweta, for conducting such a nice class.
awesome. Why
Having
can't I
only
see
one
you, Raj? I can only hear your voice. It's
I
like God speaking from the clouds. And it has a big S.
I do have only one question. How can I improve my how
Okay.
can I improve my receiving?
How can you improve your event mute? Somebody won $1,000 from Titan. Yay! I'll have that too. I just added a few more zeros to it. Okay. Raj, I didn't hear your question. How can you improve your what?
Relationship?
Relationship? I don't know.
I think it was receiving. How can I
It was
improve
something
my
with
receiving?
R. It was something with R. So we
Receiving.
can receiving.
Yeah, yeah, receiving.
You can start to pocket board all your decisions and judgments about receiving. All the DJCCs, the decisions, judgments, computations, conclusions. All the decisions, judgments, computations, conclusions I have of what receiving is, of how much I can receive, destroy and unclear them all every day. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pakal, nine, boys and beyond. And anytime somebody gives you something, even if it's a smile, receive it. Practice receiving. You guys have to practice receiving. We all have to practice receiving. It is not taught in this reality. So ask the universe. Okay, this is a great tool. If you don't know what receiving is, ask the universe to show you what true receiving is. And you'll know. Hey, universe, show me what true receiving is. Okay, play with that. Does that help?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Great,
Yes.
thank you.
Welcome. Cool. So I think we're at 8:45. Vijay, are we done? Or you want me to go on? What are we doing?
Shweta, I would like to see more of you on this program, Zoom sessions.
Anytime.
Yeah.
I'm on all the time on Facebook Live, on my calls. You can see me anywhere, anytime. Like really, you just have to make a choice. Are you willing to receive me?
Yes, yes.
Poking for everywhere, not willing to receive me. I'm like literally all over the place most of the time. So, can I also tell y'all that I have one last free business call coming up Wednesday, and I'll share the link with Vijay if it's light for him, and you guys can join me there. Or if you're on the Daily Business Veggies group, I usually put the link up there. That's a free WhatsApp group I have, and you can find the link there. So join me Wednesday night. We've already had 4 free business calls, and this is the last one for this month. I don't know what we're going to do in June, but we definitely have that one. So you guys can come on and talk about whatever you want on Wednesday night, 8 p.m.
Yes.
And I think
Also at 8 p.m.
Sorry?
Your program is also at 8 p.m.
It is at 8 p.m. Yeah, it's 8 to 9 usually. 8, 8:50, 8 to 8 to 9. I don't know, whatever, however many questions, but we usually go up to 9. People have a lot of questions, and I love to interact with everyone there. Manju is a huge contribution. She always comes in with amazing questions. Rita is there. A lot of people here are there. Very grateful for all of you for joining us here. And what else is possible? So just send me a text if you guys want to be on that. I'll add you to the Daily Business Veggies group and you'll have the link, or find Showing Up As You on Facebook. That is also one of my groups where you can see the link. Oh, what happened to Vijay? Where did he go today?
Gone for a drink.
Oh, great. Cool. So then I'm going to say bye to you guys. I'll see you somewhere soon. And
Thank you.
creating
Thank you
and
much.
have awesome life. Bye-bye.
Good session.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Shweta. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Shweta.
Shweta.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you.
Thank you, Shweta.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.